expand, their cost keeps getting lower and lower. But with all of this being said, Ryanair's dominance is about to end soon. The gravy train is about to stop because there is a new king in town. And drumroll please. Alright. To date, let us talk about who can potentially be the new European budget king. For years, Ryanair, an Irish ultra-low-cost carrier that was founded in 1984, dominated the European low-cost scene. They have more than 500 aircrafts, mainly Boeing 737s. Ryanair has definitely found their secret sauce, keeping their overhead costs extremely low and then passing the savings to customers. Some short-haul flights are priced as low as £20, and these type of deals are typically hard to resist. There are other low-cost carriers like EasyJet that has been trying for years to take down the undisputed king Ryanair, and EasyJet has also a sizable number of aircrafts, more than 300 of them. But I'm not talking about EasyJet or even Norwegian Air Shuttle, so stay tuned to find out who is the new king. First of all, you have to wonder how these budget airlines are able to charge pennies and still remain profitable. I remember once hopping on an EasyJet flight and the ticket only cost €9, much cheaper than a train ticket. You have fuel costs, staff salaries and airport charges plus state-of-the-art planes, making the bulk of the expenses. So how on earth can budget carriers still have huge margins? Let us use Ryanair as an example because they seem to be making the most money in Europe. If you look at ticket prices, you often wonder how are they able to charge so low. When you look at the operating cost of Ryanair per passenger, it is about €30.50 per passenger. This operating cost is excluding jet fuel costs, which can fluctuate with the times. As of 2023, the cost per kg of fuel is 58 cents euros. If the CFM engine of the Boeing 737 burns about 2,400 kilograms of fuel, this means it costs €1,392 for 1 hour flight. If you divide this number with 189 passengers, it is about €7.30. This means it costs the airline €30.50 plus €7.30, roughly €38 per passenger for 1 hour flight with a 100% load factor. This operating cost is really low compared to industry standards, and the truth is some tickets are charged high and some low. This enables the airline to give certain discounts to passengers. If you really want to snap up cheap tickets next time, use a VPN when you book online. You can see that when you change your IP address, your ticket price will also change. Low-cost airlines also use a tier pricing system. As more and more seats are taken up, the price of the seat will increase. Similar case of supply and demand. With that being said, if you look at other European legacy airlines, the operating profit margin is razor thin. Legacy airlines in the US such as Delta Airlines, American Airlines, and United Airlines have operating margins of 14%, 11%, and 10% respectively. And compare this to Ryanair, Ryanair have a whopping 15 to 25% operating profit margin. How is this possible? The answer is passengers' change of appetite. Back in the olden days, legacy airlines offer free food, free check-in baggage, and free selection of seats. This now has become a luxury when low-cost airlines come into play. With each additional benefit, there are extra ancillary charges for the passenger. If you want food, then pay for them. If you want extra legroom, then you pay to select your seat. Even if you want to check in at the airport counter, you would have to pay extra. Ryanair used to charge £55 to check in at the airport. All these extra charges might not seem much to the consumer, but ancillary income makes up 20% of the airline's total revenue. This creates pressure for legacy airlines to also charge for certain items, but even if legacy airlines were to charge for these things, they are still unable to beat Ryanair cost structure. The next biggest cost for an airline after jet fuel is staff salaries, particularly pilot salaries. Ryanair has a unique setup for its pilots. The pilots who are working for Ryanair are flying on a contract basis. They are asked to set up their own limited company where they have to take care of their own taxes, etc. And this is beneficial for the airline. Because they are not really Ryanair's employees, they do not have medical benefits or sick pay, which is required by law if you are a full-time employee. Ryanair also is not subjected to heavy taxes, which will come if the pilots are full-time employees. The pilots are merely contractors who happen to work for Ryanair, and this type of arrangement is not limited to only pilots. Other airline staff also have this type of similar arrangements. So the next question is, why would pilots be willing to fly for Ryanair? And the answer is flying hours. Working in a low-cost carrier is one of the best ways to accumulate precious flying hours. Ryanair then becomes a stepping stone for pilots to jump to a better airline with better perks when they have collected enough hours in Ryanair. The next reason why the airline is able to lower their costs is their enormous amount of hubs. In my previous video, I've discussed at length about the hub and spokes model and how it benefits airlines. Ryanair is based in Ireland and have favorable tax laws there. But not all the aircraft are based there. Ryanair has a total of 82 hubs all across Europe. Because of this structure, the airline is able to reduce costs as airline employees are dedicated to each hub and there are basically no hotel layovers and allowances given. The airline also is able to use smaller airports as they do not need to worry about connecting flights and the airport infrastructure is rather basic. This reduces airport fees. Ryanair also chooses second tier or third tier airports as their hubs. With that, they are able to create new markets there. Legacy airlines normally would not go to smaller cities because their cost structure are so high. Ryanair is able to create new markets by providing round trips to places never gone before. And because the tickets are so cheap, they are able to entice passengers to buy tickets to go on a short holiday, and this is why their load factor is so high, about 90 to 95% at any given time. Most legacy airlines have a load factor of only 80%, sometimes lower, and because they created new markets and dominate the smaller routes, they will be able to raise ticket prices, and lack of competition leads to total domination and monopoly. Another reason for their low-cost structure is their fleet. Most airlines have multiple types of aircrafts, and low-cost carriers generally only have one aircraft type, the most two aircraft types. With narrow-body aircrafts, it is not a problem to fill the planes up. If there are fewer passengers, they are able to sell the ticket at lower prices, and for popular routes, they are able to increase ticket prices. In general, it is not a problem to fill up 189 seats. The airline is also able to order the aircraft in bulk, and so the manufacturer is able to give huge discount for the purchase. This includes maintenance, spare aircraft parts, and also crew training. When you simplify things become cheaper and more efficient. And the aircraft is also interchangeable, so if one aircraft is defective, you can easily replace with another aircraft, and this minimizes flight disruptions. When you have so many planes, you will have the benefits of economics of scale. As mentioned, Ryanair has more than 500 planes, and airport authorities are inclined to give lower airport fees because they want Ryanair to stay. Passenger food are much cheaper to produce given the sheer size of production. When you are so massive, advertising and marketing costs is reduced. As they slowly expand, their cost keeps getting lower and lower. But with all of this being said, Ryanair's dominance is about to end soon. The gravy train is about to stop because there is a new king in town. And drumroll please, Wizz Air. Backed by Indigo Partners, an American private equity firm that also backed Frontier Airlines and Volaris, Wizz Air has started their journey of European domination. Wizz Air first started in Budapest, Hungary, and slowly started having bases all around Europe like Berlin, Madrid, and Paris. Its business model is very similar to Ryanair. In 2017, Monarch Airlines became bankrupt, and this freed up a lot of slots in London Luton Airport. Wizz Air saw this as a chance to scoop up all the slots and expand their European subsidiaries. This still doesn't explain how Wizz Air can take down Ryanair. After all, EasyJet has been nipping on Ryanair's heels for a long time. The answer to your question is surplus liquidity. What does it mean? It means good old cash. Say for example, if you have a house that is worth $300,000, if you need the money straight away, it will be hard for you to get it because you need to find a buyer for the house for the price you want. That means that even if you're rich on paper, you are not liquid. You do not have the flexibility to have cash right away. For the airline business, they tend to hold less cash compared to other businesses. This is the nature of the business model. most of their cash is tied up on expensive planes, and these profit margins tends to be much lower. Because of this, when the pandemic hits, a lot of airlines went belly up and some were saved with government loans. Wizz Air, on the other hand, decided to hoard a lot of cash. And so before the start of 2020, the airline had 1.9 billion euros in cash, making it the most liquid airline in the world. And so when the pandemic hits, Wizz Air was operating more flights than other carriers. This enabled them to capture market share and is expanding rapidly. Wizz Air began taking up other slots at a huge discount and began the expansion in other European countries such as Italy. RYANAIR has always been the favorite in Italy, but after the pandemic, Wizz Air managed to open its hubs in 7 Italian cities. So the question you might ask is, if their business model is so similar, how is it possible for Wizz to overtake RYANAIR? And the answer is the planes that they use. RYANAIR has been using 737NG and 737 MAX for its fleet, and Wizz Air has been using its Airbus A320ceo and Airbus A320neo. This ensures that Wizz Air is able to save on fuel consumption as they have much newer planes. The battleground is now in Italy, but soon Wizz Air is projected to expand beyond that with the help of its cash and its famous backing from Indigo partners. And to top it off, Wizz Air is also having a small play in the Middle East, setting up Wizz Air Abu Dhabi in 2019. Whether it is RYANAIR, Wizz Air or EasyJet, this clash of the titans will definitely benefit consumers. Airlines are forced to provide better on-time performance, more seamless travel, and all of this benefits with rock-bottom prices. Well, do comment below if you prefer to fly low-cost or in a premium airline. Which low-cost airline is your favorite? Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.